Hello friends! I felt inspired to make this short video offering two techniques that we can do when we want to talk about someone else without talking about them. So maybe I just had a falling out with someone who I love, or for some reason I'm feeling triggered by them. And I want to process it with my friend. I want to see if other people are feeling the same way that I do about this person, but I don't want to bad talk them, or it feels weird to talk about them. And I don't want to, if this is a mutual friend of mine and yours and I'm wanting to process something with you, I don't want to bias you against this person because you're their friend also, and that could even make me vulnerable. Um, so how do we talk about someone without talking about them? Two techniques. The first one from Marshall Rosenberg's Nonviolent Communication, I statements. An I statement is when I start a sentence with I. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about what came up in me when they said that, when they did that. How did it make me feel? And what were my stories around that person? Really, the emphasis is on me. So when I'm talking to you to process what happened between me and this person, with you, I'm not judging them, I'm not criticizing them, I'm not saying how they need to grow, what needs to change in them at all. I'm really sincerely using all of my discipline, all of my might to look in the mirror and to be interested and curious. Why am I so triggered by this person? What is it showing me about me? And when I'm processing this with you, when I'm talking it out with you, it's because I'm hoping that you can help me to look in my mirror. I'm really sincerely wanting to look in the mirror. I felt so triggered when they did this. This is what came up in me. And this is how I perceive their behavior. So we don't ever want to make assumptions about where the other person was coming from. An assumption makes an ass out of you and me. An assumption is when we say, I noticed this pattern in that person. I noticed that that person goes from person to person, from community to community, and does the same thing with everyone. I know where it's coming from in them. The assumption is looking at a behavior, which is what I reacted to, which is what I'm triggered by, a behavior, and saying, I know where that behavior is coming from in that person. I know so much about their storyline and their history that I know it's coming from an agenda. It's coming from not a pure place. Well, we don't ever know that. No one can know that except for that person when they look in their mirror. And so we want to make sure that we're looking in our mirror. We're using I statements. If we're ever going to look at the other person, be it from a place of compassion. Because just like when I look in my mirror, I can see why I behave the way I do. I can forgive myself because I know the backstory behind how those words ended up spurting out of my mouth. I understand where I was coming from when I did that. And so in the same way, if I'm going to make any assumption, be it that the other person has a whole entire backstory as to how they've come upon the behavior that they're embodying now, which is what it is I'm reacting to. So the other way, the second way to talk about someone else without talking about them, when I'm wanting to process, is to talk about my feelings. So instead of, I'm processing with you and I'm telling this story of like this happened and then this happened, they said this, and there are these reasons for things, and I'm making assumptions about their behavior. I'm saying how it should have been different than the way that it was. Okay, that's all great, but what are you feeling right now? What are you feeling? Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling like there's something you want and you're not getting it from this person? Really turning the lens back again on you, looking in the mirror, and really asking yourself, when you notice that you start talking about the other person and making the problem that you're having about someone else, what am I feeling? How am I feeling right now? Okay, so those are the two techniques. having a problem with someone. I want to talk about it, but I don't want to talk about them. How do I do it? I use I statements. I talk about what it brought up in me, how I feel triggered, what I wanted I didn't get. And I talk about, what feelings, what emotions are coming up for me right now. And so in that, there's the what it means. What does it mean to me? Okay, this person did this. This person said this. And I made it mean this. This is what that meant to me. And this is how I felt about it. So I'm learning about myself. And as long as we keep our attention internally like this is the most sincere place to be. This is the most, the highest integrity to be in, is when we're always looking in this mirror in relationships. Anyone else's growth is none of my business. There's nothing, it's not my place. But my own growth, that's a big responsibility. To keep looking in the mirror instead of looking out at someone else, that's a big responsibility. And so I wish us all the best in keeping our mirrors up.